The film begins with a girl named Ja-young, who is 29 years old. She refuses to date after a failed relationship, but her loneliness drives her to join a dating app. The scene shifts to a creative writer at a meeting named Worry. They are discussing the topics of their newspaper. Their boss asks everyone why people want to read their newspaper. The staff suggests some ideas, but the editor-in-chief reveals that it was boredom that made people immerse themselves in the country's magazines. Boss is looking for someone to bring the newspaper back to life as it used to be. Boss asks Worry to take over. He tries to offer an excuse, but she refuses, saying that he has a degree in creative writing, which means he can write about anything cool. Ja-young starts her day by riding the bus. She remembers her previous relationship and how her boyfriend broke up with her, because she was madly jealous of him. Her memories are interrupted by the sudden stop of the bus. She gets off the bus and enters her father's shop, where she is waiting for good news. Her father gives her a letter saying that her application has been accepted. Worry has been struggling with his love life. He enters the hall and sees his female colleague at work, who is having an affair with him. He invites her to a concert, but she tells him that she is having an affair with someone else. Later, while Ja-young was partying with her best friends, they ask her about her boyfriend, but she doesn't answer. Meanwhile, Worry's friend tells him about the dating app. Ja-young and Worry are now on the dating app. However, her friend Yumi fears that she will be in a dangerous situation again. Meanwhile, Worry is worried, but his friend encourages him to go out with a girl and start writing an article about her without revealing her identity. The girls debate whether or not online dating is safe. She gathers her strength and tries to approach a guy at the gym, but it turns out that the young man is related to his mother. Then she would go to the book club. Her strategy was to approach the first man she saw when she opened the door to the bookstore. But when she opened the door, she found only girls. Then she goes climbing and falls, so a man tries to help her. When you go out with him, his wallet falls out of his pocket. She saw a picture of his wife and children. Following her friend's advice, she tries to ask a random guy on the street out on a date, but it doesn't go well. Later, she goes to a friend's restaurant and complains to him. The next morning, she turns on her phone to find out that she doesn't have to go to work because it's New Year's Eve. She goes back to bed and thinks about her actions. To forget about it, she tries to sleep. She wakes up in the evening and finds a text from a dating app. She decided to uninstall the app but changed her mind because she had to pay a fine. She opened the application and accepted some requests. She decided to go out on a date with Worry. Later, she meets Worry at the bus stop. They decided to walk together. As they walk, he asks her some strange questions, but she ignores that and asks him about his mother. They get to know each other and go to a restaurant. She is enjoying the food and tells him it is the first time she has used the app. She tells him that she thought a lot about whether to come to the date or not. He asks her why she chose him. She asked him if he was looking for a girlfriend. He denies it and says he finds it difficult to find what he is looking for. He was careful not to reveal why he was dating her, so as not to spoil the idea of the article he wanted to write. He asks her about her work. She answers truthfully. When she asks him the same question, he lies and says he works for a children's book publishing company. Later, her friends try to find out how she met the young man, but she ignores them. Worry receives a message from his manager. She reminds him that he has to submit the 3,000-word essay by today. They leave the hotel in the evening. Before they part, he asks her if she likes him. She says she is happy to meet him. Before she left, he stopped her and told her he would call her. On his way back, he contemplates spending the holiday with her. The next day, she goes with her friend to the hospital to visit her grandmother. Her friend asks her about her date, especially since she was always checking her phone, so she assumes she's waiting for a call. But Ja-young denies it. Her grandmother interrupts them and asks them what they are talking about. Her grandmother advises her to work because it will help her find a suitable young man. She tells Grandma about the new job she got. She asks Daddy to be at work, which was an open podcast. Through the podcast, the grandmother can talk about herself as a hero. Grandma starts laughing. The next days were worrying, because she couldn't stop thinking about Worry. The same goes for Worry, who was thinking of her. He was about to text her, but his coworker arrives and he spent the night with her. In the end, she thanked him and left as if nothing had happened. His boss calls him to reveal that his article has received a lot of interest from people. She asks him how did he get the ideas. He tells her that it is based on personal experience. This impresses the boss. so she asks him to write a 5-part essay. Ja-young leaves the bakery. Wori calls her. He tells her about his girlfriend. She tells him that she is abusing him and has no feelings for him. He asks her about her opinion of him and how she found him with her. She confirms her admiration for him. He says his parents have raised him well. She reveals to him that her mother died when she was giving birth, as her mother was 30 years old at the time. Thus, reaching the age of 30 is scary for her. They keep getting to know each other. She asks him how he found her. He tells her that she is beautiful and cute. She tells him about her ex-boyfriend, who has been cheating for the past 3 years. He feels strange that she stayed with him. Then she told him that her ex-boyfriend will get married soon. She asks him to accompany her to the wedding. He promises her that. Then they talk and laugh, while Wori falls asleep on the table as time passes. She is trying to wake him up, but he doesn't wake up. She takes the opportunity to thank him for listening to her about the things she talked about, since she could not talk to her ex-boyfriend about the same topics. In the morning he found her asleep. The alarm bell rings while he pretends to be asleep. She tells him that she owes him half of the hotel bill. He agrees to pay. He gets upset when she asks him if he's sad because he spent money on a hotel room. After a few hours, we see them together again having a great time. He achieves great success with the articles he writes, in which he describes the things he's been doing with Ja-young and what's on her mind. We see people reading the article with enthusiasm and eagerly awaiting the other parts. She even made him write enthusiastically even when they weren't together. Everything was going well until he confessed that he loved her. He sits in his office and rethinks his actions. His boss comes to him and tells him that the article has exceeded a large number of views, and she is excited about what happened. She invited everyone to lunch, while they were eating delicious food. His coworkers can't help but praise him for his amazing work and wish him more success. His boss asks him to extend the article to make it 10 parts. As he is about to refuse, she promises everyone a reward. This put him in an awkward position. He goes out to smoke to calm his nerves. When his boss joins him, she curiously asks him if he's going out with a girl again. She asks him to write more about close communication with his girlfriend in the article because the public is asking for it. He told her that he would stop writing. She realizes that he fell in love with the girl. He asks to stop and is confused because writing more will help him create his own book. He puts out his cigarette and gets into a taxi. Ja-young was lying in bed when her phone rang. She answers nervously knowing that it was him. He asks her to come down where he told her that he has something important to tell her. He asks her if there is a coffee shop nearby so that they can talk. Her phone lights up and she sees her ex-lover's wedding photos. She asks him if he has the same desire to help her. We see them walking together to the party, but as soon as they enter, she feels bad about them being there. She tries to leave because she thinks their presence is a bad idea. However, he stops her by reminding her of the bad things her ex-boyfriend did to her. She looks at him confused and tells him that he doesn't know anything. He suggests watching the party at least. He decides to avenge her, so he enters the hall and proceeds to steal the guest's gift book. As they walk to the exit, security asks them to stop, but they escape. After running around for some time, he reveals his plan, and he claims that not knowing how much each guest paid for the wedding gifts will hurt the groom. They go to have drinks. She thanks him for helping her forget her boyfriend, as when she saw him getting married, he made her feel that he was not suitable for her and that she was not the heroine of his life. The next day, after all, he didn't tell her the truth. We see them in the city of games. He forgets his phone in one of the games. She sees everything, takes the phone, seizes the opportunity, goes to the bathroom, and watches the article he writes about her. She reads the negative comments. He realizes that his phone is not with him, so he returns to take his phone, but the employee told him the girl who was with him had taken the phone. He went to look for her and luckily, he caught her at the exit, but she refused to talk to him. He told her that she was right, and she had the right to refuse him, but he asked her to listen to him. After a while she tells her friends everything. Although her name was not mentioned, she felt betrayed, but she cared about whether he was sincere in helping her take revenge on her ex-boyfriend. Her grandmother tells her something that changes her mind. Wori deletes the article he posted about her and quits his job. Ja-young starts with a podcast. The first guest was her grandmother and her friends. Wori works at a gas station while away from writing. After the end of the podcast, she gets back together with her grandmother and they talk about love and she remembers Wori. Days pass and while she is cleaning her room, she sees a gift book that Rory stole from the wedding. One day she sees him in the restaurant. She tried to run away, but he caught up with her. He promises to compensate her for all the pain he has caused her. She shows a smile on her face and then they get back together. If you want interesting movie recaps, like, share, and subscribe to follow us for more movie recaps.